Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633 and today I'm bringing a review of the Transformers Beast Wars Ultra Class, if I remember correctly, Deptcharge. Now, I have to admit, Deptcharge is a really nice figure, especially for a figure released during Beast Wars, and I'm actually quite impressed at what Hasbro and Takara did to design the toy altogether. Especially with the limitations they had back in the late 90s. Even for the late 90s, a lot of the toy manufacturers weren't at the pinnacle of how they were designed for Transformers. So this is actually a really impressive figure, and it's pretty spot on accurate to its on-screen counterpart. Now, this is the last review of my Blast of the Past reviews for the month of Beast Wars, and I decided to end it up with one of my favorite figures in the line altogether. Anyways, the only thing I don't really like about the figure off the bat is that technically the only reason why it's standing is because of this large piece that is his tail in Beast Mode. And without it, as you can see, he starts falling over. So unfortunately, there isn't a better way to display it without that piece kind of not supporting it. And it does take a lot of space since there's a lot of junk back here, as you can see there. So that is one of the major issues I have with the toy, but other than that, there isn't that many of an issue. Articulation-wise, his head does turn 360. His arms can turn around, but obviously it doesn't turn all the way around with the gun in his hand. It can also bend in and out, and the missile's trying to fire, so I'm just going to quickly take off the gun for now. And then, it can also swivel up on the top of the arm there. Bend at the elbow in a really tight elbow joint at a 90-degree angle. Doesn't have any wrist articulation, but he does have full-on waist articulation, which can kind of get bent out of the way due to the back wings. His legs have full movement on the ball joint on the leg there. Can't swivel, though, since there isn't an area for swiveling, but it can bend at the knee in 2 locations due to the way that the design is, and yeah, keep in mind it can bend out the waist piece there. And his feet can pivot just a bit, but can't do much just because of the large piece in the back. But that's pretty much it for articulation you're going to get with the figure, unless you count all the wing articulation points, which I don't really count because that's mainly due to transformation. The 2 weapons, as you already saw there when I took off, is both that shark missile kind of design, which has these yellow missiles, which look really nice. I'm just going to take them out so that they won't fly off the screen somewhere. As you can see, it's a very nice large shark design missile launcher. And he does have this sword, which is the end of his tail in Beast Mode. The only other form of weaponry he has is that pulling this lever back here, it shoots these peace discs, as they actually mentioned in the show. I made a little joke too. And what you can do is to put him back, all you need to do is open up the lid here and then just slide the disc back in and close it off, and there you go. It can also work in Beast Mode, which is pretty nice. But anyways, speaking of Beast Mode, we will now go on to the transformation. Now, the transformation is pretty ingenious for what it was. You're going to pull down this panel, and because it is a Transmetal, it's got lots and lots of chrome. If I remember correctly, it's actually a Transmetal 2, if I remember correctly. But anyways, we're going to unpeg the arms off the side here. Move these fins out of the way so you have a lot more clearance to play around with. You're going to turn these around and plug them in. Get them into the little space there. And just to make it easier, we're actually going to get this out of the way first. We're going to open up the hands on both sides. Hold on, I'm trying to get this done here. It gets a little stuck on some mine. So as you can see, inside, we have these little turbine pieces, and we're going to turn them all to the outside here on both arms, so we're just going to open this up. It'll be a bit tricky to get in there. Then we're going to close it off. We're just going to keep them up like this for now. But anyways, now what we're going to do is open up the waist piece, and then unpeg the legs at the bottom here. There we go. You're going to pull this entire compartment here over the body, and this is actually going to form the front of the ray. So see, we have a little space there. I see. Okay, first we actually need to turn the body. That's why it wasn't ending up correctly. And then we're going to slide it over, and then it's going to lay flat inside. So you just need to fiddle around with it in order to kind of snap it into place there. Then we're going to snap these pieces in from the sides here. This looks like that. Close up the heels. Turn this entire leg pieces around, and they're going to peg into a little area there. So just be wary, since these are chrome pieces and it's slightly thin, but it's a little thicker, so there isn't that much worry, but it can break over time if you're not careful. And you're going to peg it in. And it's going to have this weird design where it's kind of swaying to the direction, and that's actually correct if I remember correctly. It's just the way that it's designed. And then you just push down the feet to get them out of the way, so it looks like that. Next, what you're going to do is turn the fins around completely, and you're going to peg them into the little area there on both sides, so it snaps into place. The wings can be the biggest tricky part of the toy, because the way of how many points it actually bends. Once you get that correctly, you'll be able to snap it into place, like so. To finish out the transformation, we're just going to not take off the piece, since mine's actually getting kind of old in age. It does pop off the ball joint quite a bit. Just going to snap it back on. There. And we're going to plug in the tail on here. And sorry if it's not getting on the camera, it's actually quite large in this mode. So we're going to plug it on like so. And there we have Deptcharge completely in his beast mode, which is a very massive manta ray kind of submarine kind of design, since he is a Transmetal. The fins actually have quite an amount of articulation, since these pieces do bend in the back. Can flap up and down, and also on the side fins as well. And just to show off the missiles, and the pizza launcher does work. Just trying not to slide them out, so just going to slide back in, since unfortunately you actually close the panel where you can plug it in the normal way. But it does work in this mode. Now, what's also cool in this mode is that you can take the missile launcher here, and you can peg it down here, so it's kind of like the whole manta ray motif with the fish at the bottom. As you can see, it kind of looks like fish is just sitting on the bottom of the manta ray, so it's a very nice touch, and it's a good way to store the weapon. I have to admit, the manta ray mode looks really fantastic. It has a lot of nice shiny metal parts due to the Transmetal design. And I think they did a very nice job trying to make it as accurate as possible to the Beast Wars design. Now, anyways, he does have another feature, but for some reason I never seem to get it to work. I'm going to quickly go back to roll mode just to show you that other feature. We're just going to pull off these panels here. Reveal the legs. And in here is where I wanted to show. There's supposedly some kind of rub design. I think it was like a maximal symbol of some sort. And I guess you can kind of see it, but I never really seem to get that weird Beast Swords rub symbols to work on my toys. I don't know what causes that. But anyways, we're going to unpeg the legs. And then you're going to push this piece up and slide it over. So it looks like this. You're going to turn this entire body around, and then you're going to peg these together, like so. Let me get this done here. There you go. You're going to snap it into place onto the waist here. We're going to now pull up this panel so that the discs won't fly out, and there you have the head again. We're going to move the arms back into position and snap them into place. Open up the hands so that we can expose the fists again. On both sides. Just quickly open it up and then turn the chrome piece here. And then we're going to fiddle around with the pieces that we can just get them into a certain location. If I remember correctly, there actually isn't a specific way to put these into place, but I just like to sit them down so that takes up a little less empty gaps there. And then we're going to open up the feet and pull out the heels like this. And then push down this back piece. Unpeg the sword, since the sword cannot actually stay in there when transferred into roll mode. And the pieces do pop off, as I mentioned earlier. It's being a real headache for me today for some reason. And then we have Deptcharge back in his robot mode. Now, I have to admit, for a Beast Wars toy, he's a really very nice design toy, and by far one of the most worth toys to get even to this day. Even if they do make an updated version, I just don't think they'll be able to capture it in such a way, since this is pretty accurate, and I don't think they can go that much making it accurate, but Hasbro and Takara have surprised in the past, so it'll be nice to see maybe a new update on him. But overall, I still think this is a very nice design, and he's definitely worth the pickup, even if they decide to make an old new one, since I doubt they're going to do it at this point. But overall, I think Beast Wars Deptcharge is a really nice figure of a pretty cool character that was in the show. So anyways, this pretty much rounds off my Beast Wars month here on my channel. But anyways, please kind of subscribe, and don't forget to check out Hero Taco for the latest in hero news. Also, don't forget to check me out on Twitter under Darkon633. Also, check down the channels down below. And don't forget to also check out the WW podcast at the YouTube channel below. And I'll see you YouTube. Bye.